Hey there, Wargamers. Today we are working on some prototypes for this new upcoming set for some of the dystopian sci-fi cyberpunk stuff that we're doing. And I'm finishing up a prototype design right now, and then we're going to cut it and test it and see how all of it goes. This is the part of the process where we end up having to do a whole bunch of cutting and testing and fitting and making sure everything goes together well, and then it comes out of the sheets easily and all that jazz. So I'm just adding a little bit of extra detailing onto each of these pieces. Right now, this is like the top of a bus stop sort of station, and I'm trying to make it somewhat like transparent. I prefer not to have to include like a whole bunch of other like extra materials and stuff in this one, so just so that for ease of production and make it, you know, easier to paint, so you don't have like 14 different materials, so you need a ton of different paints and glues and whatnot. So let's see how this starts looking.
So I think one of the things that'd be interesting to bring up while you're doing this prototyping and designing is the program you're actually using is not a 3D program. So
nope, it is not. This is just Inkscape. It is super de-duper free, and it just happens to be a really good vector program. And since most of the stuff that we work with works with vector, it makes sense.
What's really interesting, the major reason I bring it up is I think that some people assume that all the MDF stuff, at least from us, is designed in a 3D CAD type system. It's not the case. So you're working on something that is in a flat plane, and once you cut the prototype and put it together, you'll be making a 3D object.
Right.
And you didn't even do like a 3D design and then try and import it or design it. Like, you are working in a flat plane, and in your brain you already see how it's going to look.
Yeah, I mean, some of that's just practice, though. Like, it's not like some sort of insane thing. I mean, like, you start looking at stuff like this where you have the pieces and you can lay them over each other and see how that's going to look. So, like, this is the side of our little bus stop area, and we've got a couple of different layers. And to like help visualize, sometimes I'll go in and throw in a couple of colors just to see. Oh, can we get that layered correctly? Yeah, just to see like what is that going to look layered up, and you know, I can see the different views of pieces. But it's all essentially the 2D top-down view. It's just it becomes less of a hurdle and more of a just streamlining. Like once you kind of have a good idea of how you want pieces to go together and you've done it a bunch of times, it's not nearly as difficult to do it this way. In fact, it's, especially if you don't have like some sort of killer rig to do all this with. Not to say this computer can't handle 3D stuff, because we do that all the time for the 3D printer, but it's faster. It's just faster for me. I don't have to do a whole lot of like spinning around and reorienting and moving stuff. It's like, it's just become second nature to me. So now I got to figure out what kind of texture goes in these middle pieces. This is essentially like grading over a lot of this. So these pieces right here are essentially like holes. Like that'll be a hole that goes through that sheet. And I think I'm probably going to put a little bit of engraved detail on the edges of that, so that you could potentially paint it to look like those were like a different material, or at least it's easy to separate it out. So
is this the side of the bus stop, or the
this is the top. This is the roof of the bus stop. And so now like these green lines will be where it engraves, and the red lines will be where it cuts through. And we can do that process on all this real quick. So Justin, what do you think about those center textures? Because like it's easy to have these kind of, ooh, where did that even go? Okay, it's easy to have like these canted textures out on the side, because they kind of make this nice like symmetry where they're all kind of chevroning in, but these ones are just open holes at the moment, and I figure we probably don't want to leave that way.
So what if you repurpose some of the other textures you've used for this set so that they're kind of cohesive? One of the things that I was grabbing a piece
Sure,
here,
yeah.
just for, the lulls maybe,
Okay,
maybe not.
what's up?
What if you use that texture and it would look like that grating could open or close? 'Cause that looks
That's
like
fair.
it could open now.
That's
And
fair.
That could be a window, but if it's real sunny, maybe this sci-fi futuristic area, those open to reveal a window. And
Okay.
when it's rainy or something, they close. But I think that texture might look cool, and it would
Yeah.
match what you've already got.
So yeah, let's just transpose that over to the other side, and then let's go find that texture. Oh yeah, we do have that texture on this big door thing over here. So let's grab that one. And yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
All right, so let's group that up, and then let's see if we can get this to stagger a little better. I think that's probably a good place to have that cut off.
I
Yeah,
liked it the way
okay.
it was before.
You think?
Yeah,
There?
I don't mind that. It looks good.
Like, I'm just worried about that little sliver. Like, is that going to be really hard to paint? I'm thinking, like, maybe if we give a little more of that top flap, that's
Fair enough.
probably a little easier to deal with. Okay, so let's get in here and grab these objects. Let me throw this back to the background. There. And so let's also get a copy of that texture and stick it down below. There we go. So that's one of them. And so we have another option here. We could leave this as a cutout, and then we could put a couple little like sprue in places, and then people could pop them out if they want to, maybe put some kind of clear plastic behind it.
Well, I was going to ask, because one of the things I like with your terrain,
Mm-hmm.
if there's ever an option to do acrylic, I like it. I was curious
Sure.
if there's a reason you didn't do it, or just didn't think to do it, didn't want to do it.
Well, so it wouldn't be that hard to put a piece of clear acrylic in here. You know what? Let's do that. Let's leave.
What if those designs were etched on the clear acrylic?
I'd rather leave that open for people to be able to do weathering and stuff on, so that you can get a grimy effect. Like if you've ever been in a place, heck, the top of the warehouse where you've got those sunlights that over time like dirt and stuff builds up on it and it gets really like discolored. I think that's totally a cool effect that you could do on this. Let's roll with that. Let's leave those wide open, and then actually let's do one little strand down it. Let's do something right down the middle here. Should we do that, or should we keep it rounded? I don't know.
What do you mean?
So what I'm thinking is, so we could have a hard corner, kind of like these guys here, or what we could do is come in and shift that sideways, and then put another version of that over there, and then we could have like that. I actually kind of dig that. I think that's kind of cool. And then we can make sure that those are spaced out exactly the same. Cool. Yeah. I kind of feel like this space right here is a little bit too wide, or that gap there was a little too wide. Okay, I'm digging that. I think that's cool. Let's group all that up. And we've got a bunch of other pieces here that are the rest of this bus stop. So let's get those into a sheet real quick.
So for the people that may be viewing this, what are you doing right now?
I'm doing a sheet layout. This is by no means a finalized sort of layout. I'm just trying to get these pieces on here some way that we can cut it really quickly in like an optimized sheet layout. We'd be using, closer to like 70 or 80% of the sheet for actual parts. But for this, we're just trying to get the thing cut. Maybe I can at least get this packed together a little bit better, so we're wasting less material here. Okay, cool.
So how big is this bus stop going to be?
So it is about 4 inches tall and about 2.5 inches deep, and how wide is that? About 6 inches wide.
So, by comparison to your garage doors, about the same?
Yeah, they're about the same footprint, but they stick out about 2.5 inches.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
we need to make some benches. That's the last piece that I haven't done yet, because I'm not really sure what style of benches I'd want to do. Like I nabbed a handful of like reference images for some sci-fi stuff last night.
Is on your canvas, so to speak, right now. That piece, dead center left side, the large one, is
This
that the
one?
back wall?
That's the back wall.
What if, are you planning on having the benches come out of the wall, or you want a bench that you actually stick in there?
You know, we could just have the benches stick right out of the wall, and it could just be a very simple
That's what I'm thinking.
type thing.
It would be simple. You wouldn't. It'd be
Yeah.
assembly wise wouldn't be too bad. You wouldn't have to worry about moving it around. It's just part of the terrain.
What do you think about like other little accoutrements in the bus stop area, like trash cans, a newspaper stand, a vending machine?
For scattered terrain outside of it?
Well, I'm talking about like for inside of it. Like, I mean, scatter terrain that you could put somewhere else, but sure, for dressing this up, like, because I think that if we don't do that, it's going to look really bare. You know what I mean?
I think it's a good idea. Also, gameplay wise, we want to make sure there's enough room for models to interact.
Sure. Okay, so like, here's what I'm thinking though. Like, if this is our base plate here, right? If we and the back wall would be right about here where this blue line is. So like our back wall is boom right there. It's a little easier to see. Okay, so then an actual seat for a model would only stick out probably at best a half an inch. Like that would be a huge seat at half an inch, which then only sticks out like there-ish. I feel like it still leaves a ton of room in here. Do you think that's going to be weird?
From the edge of that bench to the front, about how many inches is that?
That is 44 millimeters, but it's almost 2 inches, an inch and 3/4.
So if you're talking about putting models in there from the edge,
I guess that's not insane, right?
Yeah, from the edge of that bench to the front of it, you got about 2 bases worth ish. And that's assuming they're small.
That's fair, and you can still throw in some other scatter terrain if you want to add some stuff later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's something we should scrap the idea for. I just
No. I mean, that stuff will definitely happen. I'm just thinking, like, does it have to be integrated into this kit? Like, it could definitely be packaged with it, but I'm thinking, like, does it need to be like glued on?
You could put you could have one element inside and then maybe something on the outside. So like the vending machine on the outside, the newspaper on the inside. Like vending machine glued on the outside wall on this side, and then the vending machine for the newspaper on the inside wall on this side. So then when you move it, those things are affixed, but they would be there normally, or whatever scatter you want.
Right.
And I feel like utilizing the outside as well would help immerse it into the table. So the inside looks cool. The outside also needs to give the illusion of what the inside has to.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
I think so. I think I'm with you on that one. Okay, so let's go with a 1/2 inch bench here, and I guess seated height should be about like 0.4 inches or so. I'm thinking. Let's see here. That's about to scale. And can I please change modes? Okay. So like 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch tall, 1/2 inch deep. That seems about right. Okay, so let's roll with that. So we need to place our bench 1/2 inch up from the base plate, which means that we can just start from here. We also need to be aware of what the back wall texture is going to be, which is this honeycomb pattern up here. So if we put this in, I think that it would be kind of cool if the bench kind of wrapped around this stuff. So like we make our installation slot here, and then
the bench juts out the 1/2 inch and then it comes around.
Right, it comes out and around.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make our little template for ourselves here. We want it to come out and around there. So what we'll end up doing is we've got this piece is the tab that'll be inserted into the wall, and then we have this piece which needs to be 1/2 inch tall. So we got that, but we do need to have this jut out some, and we have approximately that much room to do it comfortably, which means that we need to stay within the bounds of that for our kick out. And because this is, okay, so we need to make sure that that is deeper than the thickness of the MDF, which it is already. So we'll stick that out there, force that out to intersect it. We can make that rounded. And then let's just make sure everything is lined up. We can merge it. And then let's do.
You want to do like a texture on the seats, or?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So let's put. No, I don't want you. I want to break that piece. Okay, so we got that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a little form that's going to help me get a little curved interior piece. Why are you not going? Are you too good for snapping? Okay, fine. Why? What? Why no snaps? What? There we go. Snap on. All right, so now we will go to there, and we'll go to there. All right, Lego. Lego my ego. All right.
That's exactly where my brain went.
Okay, so now we've got our little plate that sticks out, and we've got a variety of options. I think that we could do a cool little hex pattern on it as like almost like a cushioned thing, but like the indication of cushions, kind of the way that like McDonald's plastic hard seats look like they might have a cushion to them, but they're actually just fiberglass seats.
As long as the hex pattern is different from the back wall. I just would want it to look.
Oh yeah, it'll be a light engraving as opposed to. So like here's what I'm thinking. So we take, we create like a rim around the edge here, and then make sure that that is centered up, and then we can create a hex pattern. Oh. Nope, we want that, we want that. And okay, I think I remember how to do this quickly. So you go there, and there, and there. Okay, so now that we're getting this down more to the scale that I want, I kind of want to have like at least 3 rows there so that you actually get an established texture as opposed to it being just like a couple of weird lines. Okay, so we're good there. So we can just snap that on and snap back and snap that on and back and to the left. All right. Okay, so let's merge those together. Give that the engrave color, and it looks like, okay, let's turn snapping off because this is about to go buck wild here. All right, that actually looks like it fits exactly within those bounds. So let's actually just go ahead and yank those pieces off, and now we can do an actual hard code center on that. Where does that land us? That does not land us in a good spot. Whoop. No. Okay, let's drop those pieces, and that might get us to center a little better. Yes, much better. Okay, so now let's do that, and let's cookie cutter those out. Okay, cool. We got a bench now. Yeah, we got a bench. Do you think that this outside shape is still the like right appropriate shape?
I mean, if you were to change anything, it would be to give the illusion of individual seats. So like,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like you could kind of have it kick out in a few spots.
Yep.
Okay, so what size is a miniature's butt?
real tiny.
Miniature. How big your butt? That's a little butt. It's 0.3 something. It's 0.4. 0.4 inches wide. Let's do that.
A little booty.
All right, so why do you keep defaulting to millimeters? 0.4 inches. Okay. So let's see. How many does that get us? That mostly comfortably gets us that many. Okay. So what's going to be our best way to manufacture some kind of little kickouts that might indicate that these are individual seats?
And do you want the hex on the kickouts?
No, I think I want it to be part of the rim here. What's going to be our easiest way? Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna just make some little circles here, and we're gonna pop one of these in between each one. Oh wait, I need to actually. Oh no, we can do it that way. That's fine. Okay, so now we've distributed those. Zipping all over the place. And I think that we can probably just merge those in here, and then we can do a little bit of shape up to make it look a little less weird. I'm thinking if we go in and we just delete all of those. Oh Lord.
That's interesting. Delete.
Yeah, that. Okay. All right.
I wouldn't want to see that.
Let's do this. Let's change our actual node type first. Then we'll see what we get. Nope, still garbage. Why are you such hot garbage? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how much footage we just lost there, but I think we're about ready to cut these bad boys here. Let me just make sure I know exactly what we're cutting. Okay, we got the top, we got the back, we got the bottom, we got the bench, we got all the bits for the sides, we got the detail plate on the back, we got the side rails. I think we're ready to rock here, so let's do that and get our page set up for a cut.
Do you find yourself resorting to touching your beard when you need to think?
Of course. That's what it's there for.
It also, helps keep your face warm when it's cold outside.
That is true, comrade. All right.
It's true, comrade. We grow the beard so we can think and be warm.
It is for stroking and thinking.
It's like the only accent that I can kind of do okay. It's the bad Russian one.
All right. That should get us in the ballpark there. All right. Reconnect to the cutter. Go, 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 go. Go. Faster. We got 13 minutes on the clock. Strike that. 16 minutes on the clock. I forgot to engrave. So now I've got all the pieces out of the machine and it's time to do a test fit. We're just gonna dry fit everything together without any glue just to see how everything's fitting, does everything match up in the right place, and are there any adjustments we need to make before this is ready for production. This shouldn't be a particularly difficult build. There's not a ton of pieces here, so let's just try to slop these things together quick as we can. And even with glue in the end, this is probably going to be a relatively fast and easy build. Now, I will say that some of these pieces would be really great for doing sub-assemblies, and by that, if you're unfamiliar with the term, it's essentially putting together a few pieces, but not the whole thing, so that you can paint pieces separately and you don't have to do tons and tons and tons of masking. It means that you can use rattle can spray paints and just easier tools if you don't have an airbrush to paint these and still get a really intricate multicolor sort of effect on your piece without a lot of extra work and masking tape and Frisket film and all kinds of things. Now there is one piece that I'm immediately noticing here, and that is the grate right here in the middle. It's in a weird place, and it doesn't look so weird right now, but as soon as we put this bench in, you're gonna see that it is basically right under the bench. That's not a place we want it. We want it out in the open where you can see it, where it's easier to paint in case you don't do sub-assembly painting. So we should probably move that over to like out here somewhere. I like it being asymmetrical. It makes it feel a little bit more real. So I don't want to put it dead center or anything. And I think that's an easy fix, something we can do with no time at all. Okay, so we've also got this plate that drops in here. This is a prime candidate for doing sub-assembly stuff because it's just one piece and you can spray paint it separately and then put it on there, and now your background is one color and this hex pattern is a nice, vibrant, completely contrasting color. And you didn't have to do hardly any work to get it there. We've also got these little railing caps here. Okay, let's just take that out. We know that fits. And got our rail caps. Those look like they fit in there just fine. And then we have our roof piece. That should just slot right on top of those. And now we've got our acrylic canopy, and that looks like it fits in all the places. I can't see any edges really easily from this side. So I think that we're in the clear. There's not really anything other than that one detail piece that I think that we really need to change. There may be a few other little fit pieces that we may want to augment just to make them easier to put together over time, but I think this is already pretty solid, and with the exception of some tiny little tweaks, I think this is pretty much ready to go. Well guys, I think with just a few little tweaks, this is gonna be ready to go. I wanna thank you all for hanging out with me while I did this. I love doing this kind of thing and sharing this type of stuff with you, and we love hearing what you have to say about the kits that we make, giving us feedback and ideas for more kits in the future. I love sharing this kind of stuff because I like making things. It's a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that you guys are interested enough in it and pick up products on the regular to let us do this kind of stuff. Thank you. We're gonna go ahead and sign off, but definitely check out the next video that we're gonna do, where we'll probably be painting this or some of the other stuff from this set as we get geared up for it. And while I know that this set isn't out yet, definitely check out the other products over at our site, deathraydesigns.com. We've got tons of stuff over there and more stuff coming out all the time. So go check it out and check out the other videos that we've got. There's lots of painting tutorials and all kinds of fun stuff. So thanks again, and until next time, happy working.